All right, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Hey, here we go. Got to hide my account number, but I think that hides everything. There you go. There's the withdraw. So that's completed. We got the withdraw out last week, and we're ready to go. So hope you guys had a good last week. What an awesome move on Friday. Just pretty much exactly what we were looking for, man. It was that exact SPY flag and SPY upside. So pretty awesome. Really nice how it's set up. Really nice how it's structured higher. Sort of that idea from Thursday into Friday. And just a nail on NVIDIA and some really nice moves on Friday. So congrats if you caught some of that. Hopefully the live stream helped you sort of navigate that ES sort of upside move, that NASDAQ move, and some of the strong semiconductor moves that we saw. Man, it still looks like it's the market's driven by a certain sector, that's for sure. You still seeing semiconductors be the hot spot, so we'll jump over it. We'll wait a few minutes for some more people to step in. But good morning, guys. Welcome back to all the familiar faces. Thanks for being here again, Chef. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Yeah, Apple, and the other thing to be watching is Apple, man. Apple still looks like shit, honestly, right? Under 180. So could be interesting to see how Apple sort of affects this market, because Apple is definitely not helping us move higher. That's for sure. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. Hopefully you had a nice, relaxing weekend, refreshing, reset. You got the hoodie? Nice. How do you like it, Ant? You guys, see if you guys are rocking the hoodie with me this morning. Morning. All right. Let me get everything set up here before we get started. Shout out Breadman as always for sending those earnings calendars. And then let's get the economic calendar up. All right. Maybe this week on Tesla. Yeah, I don't know, man. Tesla still is, we'll see. What's Nancy trading these days? Yeah, good question. All right, so as you guys come in, yeah, finally got that TSM push, Chef. Yeah, very nice. You still holding them? Nice job, Chef. Good trust, good conviction on that one, Chef. All right, guys, let's get started. If you guys could, as you jump in, please press that like button. Let's get those likes going early morning. Let's get those likes going on this beautiful Monday morning. Yeah, what do you know? Max won. Yeah, I mean, fuck, man. I like Max. I like him winning. But, man, for the sake of F1, I really don't want to just see him win by 20 seconds every race. I hope it's not like that. You know, I know that was probably a strong track for Red Bull. You know, probably Jeddah will be as well, with the fast straights and the fast turns. Usually Red Bull and McLaren are good at those types of tracks, but man, it's gonna get real boring if Max is up there winning by 20 seconds every day or every race. So we'll see. All right, let's start with the earnings calendar. Yeah, it's definitely not good for F1, man. It's definitely not good for F1 if that's gonna be what's happening for the rest of the season. All right. So here we go, guys. Today, I mean, Forex Factory shows no economic data, but I'm going to just check another source for you here real quick here just to make sure of that. Yeah, we have, it looks like on the Market Watch economic calendar, we have Philadelphia Fed President Tom Harker speaking. Nothing really major there. So looks like today we're really not looking at much economic data. That's at least what I'm seeing on my end. Let me know if you guys see something different. But on my end, I'm not seeing anything there. Tomorrow, you have ISM Services PMI. On Wednesday, you do have JOLTS. So this is probably your biggest event of the week, besides maybe Chair Powell testifying both Wednesday and Thursday. So you do have you have this testimony from Jerome on Wednesday and Thursday to sort of be aware of. It's starting at 10 o'clock on Wednesday and Thursday. So we could be sort of monitoring of that both Wednesday and Thursday of this week. But really nothing major here on tomorrow. Looks like nothing really today. Wednesday, you have JOLTS and Jerome Powell testimony. Non-farm payrolls as well. Unemployment, usual on Thursday. That's the same normal Thursday action. And then Friday, you close out with average hourly earnings, unemployment rate, non-farm employment change. So nothing crazy. SMCI added to the S&P 500. Yep, that's pretty crazy. You guys saw that. I'll look up the Treasury auctions, see if there's anything over there to be looking at. Here it is. So today is March 4th. Nothing major. Really, your next major ones are right here next week. Monday, March 11th, 12th, and 13th. Sorry, I'll zoom into that. You probably can't see it. Really nothing major this week. If I go over, you guys can see right here. Today is the 13-week, 26-week. I don't think that really does much. The rest of the week, some minor ones. But it looks like these are the big ones next week. So nothing too much there to worry about. Earnings tonight, nothing. Tomorrow, Neo, Target. Tomorrow night, CrowdStrike could be sort of interesting. Nothing major. Broadcom, Costco, This is one we've been watching. MRVL, that could be interesting Thursday night. DocuSign, MongoDB, but looks like a pretty nothing major, nothing that's really standing out on the earnings and economic side. Really, I think it's that Wednesday move, that Wednesday JOLTS data. That's probably the major one to watch, and then the testimonies from Jerome Powell. So, with that said, let's just jump into the futures. Let's get into the technicals. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Here we go. So, for now, in the extreme short term, guys, I think we're just watching this 18,000, this little shelf here from the close on Friday and this little pre-market hold, right? We can see right here we have a Friday close and a pre-market hold in this 18,315, 18,300, all in this little zone here. That's really our first shelf to be watching. So if we are above this level today, I would say the longs stay in, right? If we're above this level right here, I would say that the long entries are still there, right? The pullback longs are there. The strength is there as long as we are above this zone, right? So that's number one, right? That's the first level to be watching. If we drop below that Friday close, right, and we drop below that pre-market low right here, it gets a little bit interesting, right? It gets a little bit interesting. It's going to have to be, I'm going to have to sort of monitor this intraday. That's sort of how I'm reading this as of now. Maybe you definitely see you have some consolidation in here, right? You can see between this little 15-point range. If we go to Friday's action, all right, let's zoom into Friday's action. We can see Friday on let's go to the 2-minute chart on Friday. You can see on the 2-minute chart on Friday, we had some consolidation and some hold, right in here. Let me zoom in, because this is what we're going to have to do if we're looking short term. We saw some consolidation, some hold, right around this 18,215 level, right in here. See this little area here? So I would assume maybe if we get a pullback, we look for this little hold right here. That is 18,215. So I'm going to go ahead and put a zone there, right in there. That'll be my next sort of short-term pullback area to watch, all in this consolidation from Friday. Under that, you just have the really clean hold that happened on Friday, sort of midday. It looks to be, it's anywhere between that 18,150 to 18,160, but I'm going to keep it at 150 for now. So I'm going to put that at 150 right there. So here's the thing, right? You got a huge move on Friday, right? You had a big move on Friday, big breakout move. And the question today is, do we hold these? I would say, do we hold these this Friday close? If we do not, and we break under this level, right? If we break under this level today, I would assume you're going to need some pullback, right? You're going to want to be very patient for some pullback entries. I don't know yet, right? We don't know yet how strong or where we hold in this upside move from Friday, right? That's going to be our job. Where on this move from Friday, right here, in this area, do we see some type of a hold if we pull back? That's going to be our job to sort of monitor today. We don't know yet, right? Because it's just a straight up move. You have some levels you can monitor. I'll go back to it and give you the idea of why I have some of these levels once again. So I like maybe watching this 18,215. This is some consolidation from Friday intraday. And then I like this 18,150. So you have here, you have here. Those are two levels I would watch if we pull back for potential holds. But for now, to really stay strong, I would want to see us hold 18,315. If we hold that, I think you will push higher again today. And then the highs to be careful of are right in this little 375 area. You can see right here. You have that Friday high, and you have this pre-market high right around this 18,375. That looks to be the next supply level to be paying attention to. So, as of now, you can see consolidation from Friday close, pre-market. I would say if you can hold that low, you can push for this break and retest long. If you break under, you'll see a little bit of slippage to give back some of this Friday straight up move. All right. So that's what I would be watching. That's really, today is Monday. It's after a big move. And what we're going to have to do more than anything today is monitor and sort of just relax and sort of monitor and see where this market wants to maintain itself. We had a huge move. Remember, pullbacks are always what you want to look for after a big move. So I would want to be patient and look for those real nice pullback long entries before just chasing some of these stocks. And we'll get into that, like NVIDIA, SMCI, some of these gap up moves. You're going to want to have some pullbacks, right? Before really, very rarely does a gap and go long entry continue, right, in your favor for a long time, right? If we have a gap and we continue higher to open the day, typically you'll have some type of a gap, you'll have a little go, and then you'll give it back. So I'm going to be cautious on the gap and go. And I'll explain that on NVIDIA. I think this is the best one to watch for that. So that's my NASDAQ for now. Let's go to the QQQ. The QQQ is pretty clear here at this 445. You guys can see right here, 445. That's your little Friday close. That's your pre-market low here. And I would say if you can stay above this 445 today, you can continue higher. So 445 on the QQQ, that's the first level I'm watching. That's where I think you need to get above. It looks like 446.50 is that upside supply to be cautious of, right? Right here. You can see that's that clear Friday high and that pre-market high. We want to be careful there. So that's our channel, the same as the NASDAQ right here. Nice little channel consolidation. If we break under 445, that's where we have to be sort of patient, right? Because we have to see what levels here are we going to hold. I would say anywhere between like this, you see this little consolidation here? This could be your next hold level, right around this 442.50, 443, right? This whole zone could be something to monitor. It's just not perfect yet for me to really, be 100% confident, and give you guys an exact level here. But I would say anywhere in this zone, right? You can see this zone right here is something to watch if we pull back. This is around the 443.25, 443 area is sort of that level or that zone. I'd just sort of keep on your charts and monitor to see what happens if we pull back to it. The strong hold that happened intraday on Friday was this little, it was like this pre-market high hold right above this 441.50. You guys can see right here. We had a pre-market high. We had a hold above that level. And after that hold above that level, we really saw that continuation. So QQQ, big move higher on Friday. What do we want to look for? I would want to see where this market can pull back to and try to hold. Some of the levels I'm watching for now is 445. I'm going to watch this consolidation in here around this 443. And then I'm going to watch this pre-market high from Friday around 441.50. So those are my 3 levels on the Qs. But once again, like I said, it's Monday after a big move on Friday. Let's try to give this market some time to see where it wants to consolidate. For now, I would look only long if the market's above 445 on the QQQ. ES, what a beautiful long, what a beautiful flag. We talked about the ES having to come back down to 50.60. That is exactly what it did. I wish I could zoom in on this. That is exactly what it did, right? We saw this previous high. We talked about the pullback, the slow pullback into that level. We held it perfectly, and look at how beautiful that flag breakout is. Absolutely gorgeous stuff on the ES. What did it do on Friday to maintain this push higher? You saw this hold right here on Friday, right? We saw the previous highs, that 50.90 level, turn into new lows. What an awesome hold of that 50.90 level, right? That created that next upside move. And then the real upside move, the real strong thing that came in on Friday was this right here. It was the hold over 51.23. You guys saw that previous high at 51.23 on the S&P, on the ES futures. And if we go to the 5-minute chart, right, look at this right here. This was really, really nice. Right here, intraday on Friday, we had a perfect hold above that previous high at 51.23. That is what set up that next leg higher on the ES. So that is absolutely a level to watch if we pull back, right? If we pull back today, I'm going to be watching the 51.30 to 51.23 zone to see if that is a pullback long. If we go to the hourly chart, let's go to the hourly chart. Let's get a bigger picture view here. All right, I'm going to delete these levels for now. If we look at this hourly chart and look sort of bigger picture here, right, this is how the market moves higher. The market likes to move up, right, pull back, hold a level, move up, pull back, hold a level, move up, pull back, hold a level. And so my pullback hold level that I like to see more than anything is right here, 51.23. I'd like to see the ES retrace down towards that previous high and try to hold that level. That's 51.23. That is right there, right? And that is the exact level. If we go to the 5-minute, that is the exact level that held on Friday, right here, right there, 51.23. So that's really your best long entry, in my opinion, is right here, 51.23 on the ES futures. Okay, so that's number one. Make sure you have that level on your charts. Below, it looks like anywhere between like this 51.38. That's this little close from Friday. You can see that's attempting to hold above here, right in this general area, 51.38, 51.35. That looks to be an important level for now. And then below that, I think it's this 51.30 area that we can be watching as well. So I have 51.38 right here. I have 51.30 right here. And then below that, this would really be the long I'd look for at 51.23. Okay? If we move to the upside today, all right, you're obviously watching the 51.50 supply. SPY, pretty clear off 512, right? You can see right here, 512, 512. That's pretty damn clear on the SPY. As long as you're above 512, you have no business looking to the downside. That's pretty clear. To the upside, it looks like around this 513, 513.30, right? All up in this zone. I would be monitoring, being cautious of longs up into that Friday high. That's pretty clear right there. So we'll put that on our charts right there. Where's the really nice pullback long, right? What's the real pullback that you're looking for today? Right here, guys. 510. 510, clear as day. This was previous highs. This was pre-market highs on Friday, right? And we can see that is 510. That is 510, 510, 510. And you would, if you see this, right? This is your next real entry long, right? Off this 510. That's what you really want to see. You know, it might not be today. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's Wednesday. Maybe we start the first, few days of the week with this little downside move into this 510 area. And then maybe on like Wednesday, Thursday, we start to see that curl back higher. So 5010, absolutely. That's really your level. That's where you should feel confident on longs. That's where you can definitely look to see if this market can maintain that level. This is exactly where the market held on Friday to cause the upside move, right? You see right here, Friday, we held above this 510. We came back down into it. We had a major wick there and continued this market higher. So where would I be, sort of targeting my next long entry if I want to be looking for some type of swing trade or some kind of really strong entry for continuation? I think it's going to be this 510 area, right? That's really where you're going to want to see it down to before chasing anything with large size. It could be 512 in the short term, but I like 510, right? I like 510, all right? So 510, 512, and then that 513 high. If you break under this 512 today, I think you'll get some downside pressure, right? I don't think it's going to be that strong in this area between 512 and 510. You can see there's some levels here, right? You can see there's like the 511, the 511.30, right? You can see this zone right here. This is similar to what we talked about on the NASDAQ and ES. But I think 510 is going to be the one to watch. All right. What'd the IWM do? Oh, I mean, look at that. What a hold. What is this level? Because for some reason we have a level there. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So last week, you guys remember we talked about this high here around this 205.50, right? We talked about this high right here, right? Look at how perfect that held. So you had this previous high, 205.50. Look at the 5-minute chart. Look at the hold above that level on Friday. That is really pretty. So as long as the Russell's above that high, look, here's the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart on the Russell. We had that previous 4-hour high right here. Boom. We held above it perfectly on Friday. That is why the Russell's moving higher. I would say as long as the Russell's over that 205.50 right here, you're moving higher. Next level to watch out for above 210. Why is that? All right, we got to watch out for 210 because of this right here. We got to zoom out. 210 is a pretty major daily chart previous low over here. 210 all right here. You can see that that's going to be probably a really tough level for the Russell to get above. So watch 210 on the Russell on the IWM. If you're going to long anything here, I would probably want us back to either this little 206 area, right? This 206.20 right up in here, this Friday high, or I'd want us back into these lows from Friday, right? This 205, 206 area would be the area I'd look for that long. Dow Jones moving down a little bit today. Dow held that 20 SMA really nicely, held that 38,900 really nicely, so that would be the area I'd watch, 38.9. What's hurting the Dow this morning? Anyone see what's hurting the Dow this morning? Maybe Boeing. Looks like the Dow is a little bit weaker than the rest this morning. All right, so that's really my read on the future so far, right? I think the SPY is, again, right, I would want to get some pullbacks here, right? We had a big move on Friday. Be picky today, right? Be picky. Say, hey, I didn't I don't want to just open this morning. I don't want to open my week up by chasing upside. I want to get those nice clean pullback long entries. I think 510's one spot to be watching. That's that 51.23 on ES. I think that's your next spot to be watching there. On the QQQ, I think the real nice entry is, it's probably this little pre-market high around this 441.50. It could be that 445. The Qs are a little bit less, they're a little bit more questionable to me at the moment. The NASDAQ futures a little bit more questionable to me, because the real pullback, the one that held on Friday, is right here. It's down at this 18,100. So you can see on the 4-hour chart, we had this previous high, and we held above it right here on Friday, resulting in that straight up move. So this pullback would really be the entry you'd want. Do we get there? That's the question. Before we get there, we have some levels to be watching. We have this 18,215. We have this hold from Friday, 18,150. And we have that 18,315. All right. We'll go back into the futures here later, but let's start jumping into some stocks. If you guys could, real quick, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. I would say this is how I would watch the market today, okay? This is how I would sort of monitor this. This is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to see today or anytime this week, where is the NASDAQ when the ES or SPY pulls back to 510, right? Where is the NASDAQ when the SPY is back at 510? Because I'm almost certain that you're going to see us back at 510. Where is the NASDAQ? Where's the QQQ when we are back at 510? Okay? I don't know if that's going to be 510 today, but at some point in the future, I would assume that the SPY gives back some of that Friday move, right? You have a big pop. I would assume you sort of move lower, right? Back towards that 510. And then where is the NASDAQ? Where's the ES when that SPY gets back there? Then we'll mark that level, okay? But it looks like you're getting a little bit of downside, right? A little bit of weakness here up at these supply highs. I would want those pullbacks, okay? All right. Tesla, still a shit show. Still an absolute shit show. You can see Tesla range, right? The only thing that's bullish here on Tesla is that it's ranging above a previous high. So you can see previous highs here, right around this 198, turning into new lows, which is nice, right? It's definitely a nice flip there. But man, does the upside continue to get shot down, right? Man, would I not really want to be involved in this action if I was holding a long? I'm just not going to touch it, man. That's my New Year's resolution, even though it's not New Year's, is to not touch Tesla in this price action right now. If Tesla gets over this 208, I'll look for it. If Tesla breaks under this 198, maybe we look short, right? But I am not going to be involved in this area. There's a lot of talk online. I see people talking on Twitter about this bear flag. It's definitely possible. You have this bear flag here on the daily chart, which is this just sort of a grind higher into that supply for the next move lower? I think that's on a lot of people's eyes, right? This previous low right here turning into the major rejection point, and Tesla sort of moving lower under that. Is that possible? Yes. Would I be front running that idea right now? Probably not. The reason I would not front run that idea just yet is because you can definitely see where Tesla's trying to hold, right? You can see Tesla's really trying to hold that 198. If Tesla drops under this 198, then maybe you can start to look for that short, right? Maybe. But the problem then is if you do that and Tesla holds the 20 SMA again, right, then you could get sort of trapped into that short as well. Okay, so I would be careful on that idea just yet. Right now, I would wait for some things to actually break down before you even try to look for that. You'd probably want at least at bare minimum, you'd want Tesla to be under the daily 20 SMA. Because as of right now, the daily 20 SMA is curling back higher, right? And it could act as a support in the future. So if you are interested in this downside move, if that's where you think Tesla moves, then I would say, hey, let me wait for this daily 20 to, all right, let me look for the price action to reject under that daily 20, which is curling higher. Let me see if I can get under it, and then maybe I look for that weakness. Until then, I'd be patient on that idea until you actually start breaking some of these levels, okay? And then for the upside, I would just sit pretty and wait for us to break over 208. If we break over this previous low, if we hold over this 208, then I think it'll be much cleaner to look long on Tesla. All right, NVIDIA. So we swung NVIDIA Thursday into Friday. That was an awesome trade on Friday. Congratulations to those who did that. Why did I do that on Friday? There was a very, very clear reason why I held longs overnight from Thursday into Friday. Number one, it was this slow pullback, right? That created a double bottom at 770. That was number one. Right, we had a very strong hold to 770 both Thursday into Friday. On Thursday, there was a very clear structure shift that happened, and it was right here. Okay, I'm gonna go to the 30-minute chart, and you're gonna see it very clearly. Why was I interested in longing NVIDIA Thursday into Friday? And you guys can see right here. I'll go to the Desi swing section. This is what we were looking for. So we had here on the Discord, we had right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up bigger. 1 second. So here you go, right? This was Friday. You guys can see. 1 second. Right? This was NVIDIA. This was NVIDIA on the 30-minute chart, right? And we had previous lows that had a high on Thursday or had a high on Wednesday, right? You can see right there. Right? We had lows, lows, lows that turned into a high on Wednesday. That, for now, was bearish. However, we held this 770, and look at this action on Thursday, right? Look at how the NVIDIA turned the Wednesday high back into a low, right? That is a clear shift day over day. That is a clear shift in price action, turning this low back into support on Thursday afternoon at around that 785 level. So after seeing that, I said to the group that I was going to hold the NVIDIA swing into tomorrow, right? Because of that hold, and that was really nice, right? That was really nice, and it continued in some really strong upside. So for now, all right, that trade's over. Made some good money on that one. You can see NVIDIA is gone as of now. What do we want to see on NVIDIA? I've found, at least in my last, the experience from this year, I have found that the gap and go trade is sometimes very difficult, okay? Typically, the market likes to pull back and fill some of these gap ups. As of right now, you have a very clear gap up on NVIDIA, right? You have a gap, you have a go. I would assume NVIDIA tries to do this type of move, okay? I'm going to wait, very patient, and wait for NVIDIA to pull back to this level. I do not need to chase NVIDIA. If you own NVIDIA shares, if you're making money with NVIDIA moving higher, let it go, okay? Let it do its thing. Take in those profits from those NVIDIA shares that you have and let that thing ride. If it just wants to be sort of crazy, let it ride. If it pulls back, then you look for that short-term trade idea. That's how I like to play NVIDIA. I do not like to chase it. I don't need to chase it. I don't want to lose money chasing calls when I could have just made money with shares and waited for that pullback, right? So that's how I personally think about it. I would want NVIDIA to pull back. I'd want NVIDIA to fill this gap right here. Right here at this 828, that would be the long entry I'd look for today if we can come back down to it. If we break under that level, you have some very clear 823s. You have some very clear 820, right? So some very clear levels below on NVIDIA to long off of. You do not need to chase it in random spots, okay? Maybe it's just the 837 level. That's possible, right? Maybe it's just the 837 pullback today, back to this previous high, back to this little consolidation here. Maybe it's just this at 837, but I would want this 828 right there. Okay? That's how I feel. That's what I'm going to look for. I want that pullback, and I want that long after a nice retracement. The 823 level that I have marked out is also this previous high. So if you do break under that gap fill level, I'm actually just going to put this whole zone in. This is how I'm going to have NVIDIA charted. I'm going to have this entire zone here. I'm going to have all this previous high and that 820, 823 area from Friday. So that's how I'm going to keep my charts right here. I'll go back to the 5-minute. This is that previous high, this zone right here that you guys just saw. That's that previous high. You can see we held above it perfectly here at 823. Okay? So 823 to 820 is a nice area to look for longs. If we pull back today, I'd look for the gap fill at 828. I'd look for the longs at 820, 823. Maybe it doesn't do it. Maybe it's just the 837 long. We could look for that. But just understand that NVIDIA's up a lot, and pullbacks are going to be where you want to long it off of. AMD, what a run. What a run on AMD. Man, it looks like you're going to want sort of this 200.6, 201.50 area. That's going to be sort of that area I'd look for, right? Right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. This is really going to be the area that you're going to want to see that long entry form. What a run. So it's a little bit difficult, right? Because if we go to the 4-hour chart, right, you got to understand what NVIDIA or AMD looks like on the 4-hour chart. This is straight up stuff, okay? This is straight up stuff. Very rarely do you just have the best long entry you could think of after a move like this on the 4-hour chart, okay? You need to understand that, right, coming into a trading day. What have we done? What are we looking at? And do I really feel like I have my best risk reward after a 17% move in the last 2 days, okay? AMD is up 17% in the last 2 days. All right, let's first understand that. Do we think that our best long entry on short-term options is after a 17% push on AMD? Probably not. You know, if you're an AMD shareholder, beautiful, right? Absolutely beautiful. Soak that in. Congratulations. That's beautiful, right? Why are we not owning AMD shares? I have no idea. Okay, that's the first question you have to ask yourself if you don't own AMD shares. So do I want to be, going balls to the wall, chasing AMD to the upside after 17% to the upside with short-term expiration options? Probably not. Okay, let's think logically here. Probably not. Let's look for some real entry points after maybe some consolidation, after some pullback. So what am I looking for today? Let's look for this 196, right? That's where we held here. 196, that's that Friday low. That's number one. Number two, let's watch this, right? Let's watch this 200.6, 201.5. Let's see if AMD can pull back to that consolidation that it did all Friday and into the pre-market, right? The futures market. So that's where I'm looking. Maybe it's just a break and hold over 205 today for some extreme short-term action, right? You can see you have that very clear 205 level that's forming this morning. So could you maybe see like a little 205 break and retest? Yeah, it's very possible, right? For some more upside, very possible. Now, if you do trade something like that, you just have to understand what you're doing. Because if you do trade a 205 break and retest today, you have to understand, hey, I'm going to go long off this 205, but I know that AMD is up 17%, right? And I know, hey, I'm probably not going to get another $10, $15 to the upside on AMD. I'll maybe get a few points here for a little bit of a scalp, but I need to be careful of that ultimate reversal and sort of pullback, okay? The best ROI maybe is shorting AMD, but that is totally... sometimes the best ROI you think is shorting, but man, is that against everything in this market? I'd be very careful shorting any semiconductor. AMD 205, yeah, maybe you could short this back into this level, man, but it's just a total trend against trend type trade. Maybe you can get this short here. It's very possible. There's always a short somewhere, but man, is that against the trend. So I'd be careful on that. But yes, you could watch this 205. Maybe there's a little short off that level today. I'm not interested in trading shorts when you look like this, guys. It's just I'm not going to short something that looks like this. Okay, it's just not really in my trading arsenal to do that. But there's always some shorts in here somewhere. Everywhere there's a short. So I'm gonna stick with that trend, man. But when there's a strong uptrend move, I don't just irrationally chase longs. I wait for the pullbacks and I look to create long entries on the pullbacks. I think it's so. Here's my mindset, right? Let me talk through this just for a second. Little mindset thing to consider, right? I find it very hard to be right. If I think a stock should pull back, which I think a lot of these stocks after Friday's move should pull back and create some better long entries, I do not find it easy to both short the pullback and then long the pullback at my demand. Right? It's a lot to ask of yourself to short it perfectly where it's going to pull back and then change your mindset and long it after the pullback is done. Okay? It's a little bit hard. I don't try to do both of those. I like to pick one thing and I like to just stick with that idea. So if my idea is to look for pullbacks and then long, I would let the downside come in. I'm not interested in trading the downside. I'd rather sit. I'd rather emotionless watch and say, okay, we're pulling back. Where's my level? Let me monitor this as it pulls back. Let me see where I'm going to formulate my long. I'm not going to be trying to take puts while it pulls back and then try to flip my idea back to the long side after I think the pullback is done. It's a lot. You can do it if you feel like you're right. I am honest with myself. I know that is too much for me to be doing on an intraday, to be shorting any kind of short-term pullbacks and then re-longing it. I'd rather just let it pull back, let it drop, not going to be involved in it, let it come back down, and then look to re-long it where it pulls back. That is in an uptrending market, of course, right? That idea is only in an uptrending market. If the market was going down all year, right, I wouldn't be, right? If the market was going down all year in a downtrend, there's not going to be many people that are going to buy demands and then re-short it at the supplies, right? A lot of, at least when the market was going down in 2021 or 2022, I was, any kind of bounce I was shorting into. So we get a bounce into supply, I short. I'm not longing it into supply and then re-shorting it. I'm letting it pull back, I'm letting it bounce, and I'm taking those longs or shorts at the key levels. So just that's how I think about it, okay? Doesn't mean it's 100% right. Doesn't mean that you have to do what I do, okay? That's trading, but I'm just explaining to you what I look for, okay? All right. MRVL. We absolutely nailed this thing. If you guys came to the live streams, if you guys have been staying in tune with this channel, we have been hawking this MRVL flag on the weekly, on the daily, right? And look at how beautiful this ended up. Just a sick move. So congratulations if you caught MRVL. Badass entry, badass long. The next level that I would be watching is 80. The pullback level that you'd want is 74, okay? You would love MRVL back at 74. If MRVL gets back at 74, right, then I would look for that re-entry long right here at 74. That is that previous high right there. Look to see if you can get a pullback and a long at 74, okay? That's important. Now, if we zoom out, right, 80 is a big level right here. 80 on MRVL is a big level. You have these lows, you have some of this high action, you have this gap fill, right? Sort of this area right here at 80 that I would just be a little bit cautious on today, okay? So watch out for 80. I wouldn't want to be chasing longs into this level after a big move on Friday. Right? I wouldn't want to be chasing longs into 80. What I would want to look for is this right here. Let's get this thing back down. Let's look for that retracement, and let's look to see if there's a new long that sets up around 74. SMCI added to the S&P 500. This is really big stuff. I would not be surprised to see SMCI absolutely rocket today. full disclaimer, put it on the screen in bold red letters. This is not for the faint of heart, okay? This stock is not for someone that's just started trading. You better have at least, I would say, 4, 5, 6, 10 years of trading experience before you start messing around with this thing. You better feel confident in what you're doing. This is major league stuff. The contracts are going to be insanely expensive. You're going to lose thousands of dollars in seconds on intraday moves. It's just how it goes. So if you're going to start trading SMCI, you better hold on to them tight. You better hold on to them tight, and you know what that means. So the key level right now that's holding is $985 to $1,000. That's a very key hold that's coming in right now. That is a hold above this previous high, right? You guys can see right here, $985 to $1,000 is a previous high right here. You can see we had a break, and we held above that level beautifully, right? That is your first level to watch, $995 to $1,000, okay? So that's big right there. Look to see if that continues to hold. The key level that held, and really, really pretty, right, which maybe could have got you in this trade, and you would have gotten very lucky, right, with that S&P 500 news. Look at how clean this 900 level turned into support on Friday into close. This was really quite nice on SMCI, which maybe, right, you could have been like, hey, I like this technical setup, and then you go, holy shit, it got added to the S&P 500. Right? That's probably a situation for a lot of people, because you can see right here, we had this 900 area, we had this 900 rejection, we had this 900 rejection, and look at what happened on Friday into close. Right here, on Friday into close, you have a perfect little structure. You have previous highs, right in here, right? And you have this perfect break and sort of consolidation back down to it. Honestly, a little bull flag back down into 900 and just rock it, right? Obviously, this is sort of luck if you were holding longs. You know, you caught a really nice break with that S&P 500 news, but look at how clean that little 900 level held on Friday into close. That was probably a reason for some people longing this over the weekend, and man, did they get paid off on that. So right now, you can see 900 was clean. You can see look at this. You're doing the same thing 2 times. See this? This is the same exact thing 2 times on SMCI, right? You have a break, you have a retest bull flag, you have a break, you have a retest bull flag. 2 of the same moves there on SMCI. The next level to watch, and the very clear level to watch, that's, it's not really that hard to see, is 1080. 1080p, right here. 1080p. That's your level to watch. 1080p. Maybe we go to 1440, right? Maybe next move is 1440p. I don't know. All right, now I'm just kidding around. Don't take that seriously. But you can see right here, 1080p, maybe 4K's next, right? After that, caught in 4K, 1440p. You had the 1080p, right? Where was last? Where's 720? What did 720 do? 720? Oh, shit. Look at that. Oh, man. That's insane. 720p. For some reason, SMCI is following TV resolutions. I don't know why. Okay, but it is. So 720p, 1080p. So, all right, let's get serious. Let's get back to being serious here. So, anyways, the next level is 1080. Okay, 1080 is your next level. You need to hold over that for more upside. If you see this thing hold over 1080, I would assume it moves higher. Okay, all right. ARM, this might be the right one to be watching. This looks really interesting. That is a very clean sort of hold higher, right? You see this right here. Very clean, structuring higher, right? You have this sort of stair-stepping upside move. You have that uptrending move, right? The next thing to watch here, in my opinion, would be 150. It would be 150. What does ARM do at 150? If ARM holds over 150, I would assume that you get that big push, okay? That would be where I'd look for it. If you can get ARM to really hold above this 150 area, if you get a really solid maintain above it, that would be my next long entry for that upside move, okay? This looks really clean. I like the way this is sort of structuring higher. It looks very nice on the structure, right? You can see this nice low that formed, previous highs, held here on Friday, Thursday, Friday. The next one that you need to see happen is 150 for that next structure point. So let's watch 150. Let's watch 150 on ARM today. All right. Let's jump into coin, because coin finally got you that breakout move. You have Bitcoin futures nice and strong, up 3.5%. And now look what coin did. Now, we can't say that coin didn't do exactly what you wanted it to do, right? Look at this. Can't say that that's not perfection. That's break and retest. This is exactly the level that we were screaming about all week on the live streams. 193, previous highs into very clear structure lows. That's perfection, okay? That is called break and retest, right? Look at how clean that is above that previous high. Beautiful stuff. Now, you got your squeeze move this morning. What would you want to see coin do? I would want to see coin come back down to some of these highs and then see if that long entry presents itself, right? Coin got the breakout. It freed up above some of this supply, which is great, right? You want to get coin above this supply to sort of free up this move. Let's see if coin can give us that pullback, and let's look for longs. I would say it could be anywhere between this 213 and this gap fill level. So that's the problem with coin, right? I don't have an exact level for you because it can be a little sloppy on this pullback. I think it could be anywhere in these highs, right? It's not going to be perfect. It could be anywhere, in my opinion, between 213 and 207. 207 is the gap fill, okay? So you can see right here on the 5-minute chart. It could be anywhere between, I would say, this 213. Let me move this up. Right around that 213 area, which is this previous high. You can see right there as well. Some of these highs right here. And then it could also be the gap fill. So I would look to see if coin pulls back, do you start to see that resiliency, right? Do you start to see that pressure that's holding it up? Exactly like this, right, guys? You're looking for this, right? You're looking for, let this pull back, let it do this right here, and then see if you can start to see those holds stepping in. If you can replicate this type of price action above this level, then you're looking for that next long entry, right? So look to see if it can sort of form these lows that it did last week in this area above. And then you know it is structuring higher, and you know there are now buyers in this zone, which you can look for that long entry on, okay? That's, of course, barring any type of catastrophic failure in the Bitcoin system, okay? If Bitcoin drops 20% out of nowhere, out of thin air, everything that I'm talking about on coin is totally invalidated, okay? If Bitcoin decides to pull back, right, maybe back down to like 60K or maybe below 60K, which would honestly be a normal pullback at this point because Bitcoin is up 27% in a week, right? If you do get something like that, then you're going to see Coinbase drop. And this is just what you do, or this is what you get yourself involved if you're trading cryptocurrency names, right? There is no one to blame. You're not blaming the market gods. You're not blaming, you're not blaming manipulation. If Bitcoin drops 10%, which it very well could, and Coinbase drops as well, okay? That's just what you get yourself involved in when you trade this type of action, okay? So you have to understand that. That's always got to be in the back of your head. All right, Microsoft. So very clear high on Microsoft to be watching today. We can very clearly see this 416 level. Let's go ahead and look at this 1-hour chart. All right, you can see right here. Holy shit, it's 8:54. We got to go speed round. Speed round. Microsoft 416. 1, 2, 3, 416. That's the level to watch today on Microsoft. Let's go to Netflix. Netflix is gone. I would look for pullbacks on Netflix to some of these retest levels. I personally would want to see a pullback to 610. 610 on Netflix would be my level I'm watching there. We can go to Apple. Apple's a shit show. I would leave Apple alone. I don't see the reason to be trading this. The only thing I'd say is if you want to try to short 180, you can. That would be the only trade I'd see here. If you can see a short under 180, that's what I would look for. Meta, very strong hold on Meta. Very nice continuation on Meta. Here's the levels to watch on Meta, guys. Pretty clear, right? You can see right here. You have this 500 to 501 area. That's the area I would watch. 500, right, to 501. That's the area I would watch. If Meta can pull back, look to see if it can hold that 500 to 501. TSM, you really want the gap fill longs. I'm going to stay patient until that happens. Look at how clear this will be potentially on TSM. So if we go to the 15-minute chart, look at this right here. You had a beautiful hold at 134. That was sexy. Now you want to pull back right here to 136.50. If TSM does not give you that pullback, then just let it go. But you want that gap fill at 136.50, and then you want the long there. Right there, that would be your best long entry at 136.50. Gap fill, or not gap fill, but a pullback to these previous highs. If it's a gap fill, it's back down to 135. But I would look for this 136.50. Google, it's another shit show. Look at how weak this thing is versus the market. I would say you're going to want to short. You're not going to want to short Google just in a random spot. You're going to want to short Google at 140. Anyone that continued to short Google at 140, congratulations. Nice downside. You're going to want shorts at 140 on Google. If you move lower, watch that 134 200 SMA on Google. All right. Let's go quickly to the ESNQ. Let's see what they're doing. NQ is still holding above this pre-market low, so that maintains well for now. That's your watching, 18,315. ES, still, ES a little bit weaker, right? A little bit weaker on the ES. Let's look for that 510 on SPY today, guys. Let's look for that spot, that 510 on SPY. That could really be the nice spot. Snow, I'm not interested in. You could watch it over 185. You could watch it over that 100 SMA. That's the same thing we've been talking about. And that's about it. All right, guys. So if you enjoyed today's live stream, if it gave you some insight, some help, make sure to go ahead and press that like button for me. We got 2,300 people here and 1,000 likes. I appreciate the 1,000 likes, but that's 50%, man. That's 50%. We're losing that average. So if you guys could, press that like button for me. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We're here every single day, starting at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to around now. We're reviewing charts, reviewing the futures. If you guys could, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel before you head out. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.